This beautiful rendition of the Caped Crusader is heavily based on the cool animated Batman TV series, and Ubisoft promised to be true to the show in every way. You'll get to explore many large environments of Gotham City, with the gameplay spanning a whole horde of genre. You'll find yourself fighting enemies, rescuing hostages, solving puzzles, and jumping from platform to platform to solve physical challenges. There's a nice blend of action and stealth, all set to a subtle and interesting ongoing story. You also get to play with all sorts of gadgets and utilities from the show. There are stun charges, smoke bombs, batarangs, the batscope, bat launcher, and a grappling hook that's lots of fun. Some of the weapons drop to a first-person perspective to make aiming easier, which is a great help. There are even two vehicles to cause havoc in, the ubiquitous Batmobile and also the Batplane, so there's absolutely no excuse for letting the Joker have the last laugh. Ubisoft's limbless wonder is leaping back into action in this multiplayer variant of his usual fare. Up to 4 players may now compete head-to-head within the light-hearted setting that has made the Rayman series so popular. The game is set to bridge the gap between Rayman 2 and 3, and as such has no real plot of its own, but does offer you the chance to both race and enter the arena with the other characters. Players will take control of some of the game's favourite characters, including Rayman himself, and you'll soon find yourself running, jumping and climbing trees in an attempt to keep ahead of the competition. There are also various powers to give you an edge, along with flying sequences and the ability to set traps for your opponents. Numerous special objects and bonuses are scattered around the levels to give you the upper hand, if not the upper arm. Wipeout Fusion continues Sony's Wipeout series on the PS2, and it's a series that keeps going from strength to strength. The most noticeable improvement is the precision of the control system. The vehicle movement is perfectly in sync with the analog stick, giving a highly responsive feeling of control and making the twists and turns of the various courses a joy to navigate. All the standard aspects of the game are present. Weapon attacks, special attacks, and power-up boosts are all there. There are also 4 viewpoints to choose from, along with a rear view monitor, which you can use to check out the opposition, assuming you're in front, of course. The track designs are fantastic, a clear advance from the Wipeout tracks of yesteryear on PS1. The scenery is beautiful, and the courses are all huge with plenty of nice touches to keep you busy throughout the race.
You simpering fool, get that rattle trap off the road!
USA! USA!
The Simpsons return to the gaming genre with another bash at making a decent game. And this time they've come up with a driving game, very much akin to Crazy Taxi, which actually seems to be worth a look.
Way to ignore the speed limit!
There are over 25 of the Simpsons characters to take for a ride, some of which need to be unlocked first. These dangerous drivers have to roar around Springfield through 5 different neighbourhoods, with over 100 landmarks from the TV show, picking up passengers and delivering them to their destinations within the time limits. 2-player mode involves competing directly to get those pay-faring pedestrians into your car, something that Crazy Taxi never managed. But watch out!
I'm afraid of the future!
Your passenger can be stolen from you, even mid-ride.
Willie, sorry! Hold it together, Willie.
UK-based developer Criterion Studios are putting in a serious bid to compete with Activision's impressive range of extreme board sports. Airblade is designed to be easy to pick up and play, but with a storyline that the Activision titles like Tony Hawk just don't have. centres around Ethan, a hotshot skater whose friend Oscar has invented a hovering skateboard, dubbed Airblade. Unfortunately, Oscar works for the GCP Corporation, who fear his invention will lead to the collapse of the oil industry, and so he soon finds himself kidnapped. Fortunately, Ethan still has Airblade in his possession and immediately leaps into action to save Oscar. The story mode consists of 6 missions, each with 4 tasks to complete before you can move on. To help you out, an arrow will point the way to the next objective, although quicker routes can be found if you try. However, if you don't complete all the tasks within the time limit, then you'll have to take the level again. The multiplayer modes include your basic head-to-head stuff. Along with ribbon tag, which looks to be a lot of fun. Here you must find the ribbon within the level, which then trails behind you, growing in length until your opponent takes it from you. The winner is the player with the most steals. Party mode allows up to 8 players to take part, each getting 1 minute to strut their stuff. The player with the lowest score is eliminated before the survivors enter the next round. Each of the characters within the game have their own set of about 30 tricks, including grab tricks, flip tricks, and a variety of grinds, all of which can be modified by spinning the Airblade whilst you're doing it. The hoverboard also allows the trick list to include a few moves that you'd never be able to perform with a mundane skateboard. So get yourself ready to reach for the sky.
Right through the air.
In preparation for next month's exclusive review, here's your chance to see what this 3rd instalment of Activision's fantastic Tony Hawk series will bring to the PS2. Unsurprisingly, there's a great improvement in the animations and the quality of the graphics, but there's a lot more besides. If you played the previous 2 games and think that a 3rd outing to practice your kickflips and grinds would be more of the same, then think again. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 comes with a whole new range of trick features, with every character having an expanded and individualised repertoire. The level goals are also themed to suit a given skater's particular talents, requiring a vert skater to trick off some ramps, whilst a street skater must grind certain rails and hit the right gaps to complete the challenge. What's more, the new revert feature allows you to link a vert trick into a flip or flatland trick, allowing you to build up some impressive combos. The level designs have been vastly expanded, and each comes complete with a series of level goals to provide you with an alternative to simple exploration and tricking. LA, for instance, challenges you to start an earthquake and stop some thieves. These 2 tasks are linked in that you need to perform the right series of moves to pull down the earthquake, which then causes the freeway to break up, trapping the car that you need to drop into the road below, stopping the thieves. Easy.
Jumper here!
The various people populating the levels can also be interfered with, allowing you to stop and listen to them or help out with some of their problems, like getting Chuck unstuck and stopping the bully in Canada. Or heading down to suburbia to hunt out the axe, allowing the Thin Man to open up the haunted house for you. All in all, there's plenty to be doing. The new range of tricks, combos, hidden tricks and special meter tricks, combined with the extensive levels, can keep you entertained for hours on end. And when that grows dull, then you can set out to achieve the various level goals and open up all the secret areas. It looks like there's a lot more skating to be done yet. Known for bringing us the awesomely successful Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series, but this is their first venture into the snowboarding market. To help them make the transition, they've enlisted the help of WEP, the developers of the Cool Borders series. So, just what have they come up with? The game engine is based on an enhanced version of the Japanese Cool Borders Code Alien game, but moving the emphasis away from the racing and introducing a heavy stunt element to the proceedings, making it feel more like a Tony Hawk game than a normal snowboarding game. The downhill course is littered with trick opportunities, with plenty of rails and branches to grind along, and the ability to go buttering as well. That's the snowboarding equivalent of the skateboarder's manual move. There are hundreds of different tricks to pull off, and the control system is identical to the one used in the Tony Hawk game, so you should have no trouble getting the hang of things. You also get level goals presented to you with each level, setting you all sorts of challenges, like finding hidden logos scattered throughout the course, nose pressing the water tank pipe, and even getting yourself photographed several times. You'll need to complete all of these tasks in career mode if you want to advance onto the next stage. Activision have also managed to license the use of many big names from professional snowboarding, such as the titles Sean Palmer, as well as Tara Dakides, Ross Powers, Drew Nielsen and many more. These champions can be put to the test on a variety of courses, including Aspen, Kirkwood, Squaw Valley and Snowbird. The two-player mode is well worth a mention, with its novel push concept. The more impressive your performance compared to your opponent, the more of the screen you get to yourself. If you manage to outdo them significantly, then you'll push them right off the screen. With all the tricks of Tony Hawk and all the racing of Cool Borders, this is definitely one title that won't leave you standing. World Rally Championship aims to be the best rallying simulation to date. With the full WRC license, developer Evolution has recreated all the cars, teams, drivers and locations of the real event. 16 rallies of the season are portrayed, with locations such as Monte Carlo, Sweden, Cyprus, Kenya, Australia and Great Britain. These rallies consist of over 70 stages, all of which have been accurately designed using satellite terrain information. The cars have been precisely modelled and represent vehicles from the 2001 season manufacturers. You'll see motors from Peugeot Sport, Subaru World Rally Team, Skoda Motorsport and the Hyundai World Rally Team amongst the crowd. The interiors have also been faithfully rendered in full 3D, along with the driver and co-driver who are both fully animated, making note-reading motions and displaying violent reactions to crashes. The game engine uses a new 3D technology system and higher-order surface technology, bringing you one of the most accurate rally simulations yet seen. The driver model allows the full 10 degrees of freedom and has been developed with the cooperation of the actual WRC teams. The damage model is impressive as well, allowing complete deformation of the vehicle relative to the damage incurred, which all impair the performance appropriately, along with a progressive build-up of mud, dirt and dust as the rally goes on. A full weather system has also been implemented, making each race a unique experience as you're forced to contend with rain, snow, sleet or fog at various intervals throughout the rally. You will of course get to see all your favourite rally drivers make an appearance, with showings from Tommi Mäkinen, Richard Burns, Colin McRae and Juha Kankkunen, all nicely modelled with respectable likenesses. So the potential is definitely there for a world-class game. Let us hope that the final version of the game lives up to it. Capcom Digital Studios are treating us to a blast from the past in this fantastic homage to the platform games of old. Maximo may not be a sequel to Ghosts and Goblins, but it sure owes it a lot of its ancestry. Maximo himself is working on behalf of the Grim Reaper. It seems that some dastardly villain has concocted a plan to dig down to the underworld, causing unprecedented seismic disruption in the process. Naturally, Death isn't impressed at someone invading his realm, and it's up to Maximo to put a stop to it. The game comes with plenty of personality, with Maximo having a wide selection of animations, including lots of different attacks, a somersaulting double jump, booting open chests and getting his sword stuck in trees. Newcomers and old fogies alike will love this return to those simple old days of hack and slash. With jaunty graphics, good, fun gameplay and a quirky sense of humour, you'll soon be raising hell once more. The EA Sports football title is often criticised for being too arcadey next to the more realistic simulations provided by the likes of Konami. But this time they've made a great effort to address these failings, while still being true to their current fans. The game is being produced in the UK, so at least the developers understand what the game is all about, and their major modification has been to rebuild the passing system from the ground up.
Raise it straight back then.
You can now use the PS2's pressure-sensitive buttons to control the force of your pass, while using L2 and R2 to provide the curve. This means that passing becomes a lot more skillful than the previous hit it and it'll go to your player effect. You'll also have more control over the players without the ball, being able to choose whether they make a break for goal or hang back to provide support. There are 16 licensed leagues to play in, consisting of 150 national teams and the faces of real-life players, all of which can be experienced to the full with the in-depth career mode, dubbed the Road to the World Cup. The visuals have of course been improved too, with realistic ground textures, effective field lighting and much more convincing player modes. The attention to detail even includes the right kind of boots and the captain's armband. FIFA 2002 looks like a game to watch out for, having a more mature approach than the previous titles, but still being a fun game to play. Just what you need to thrash the Germans once more. In 1986, we were introduced to exhilarating displays of aerobatic combat in the hit movie Top Gun. Now, 5 years later, we finally get the chance to show that we can do just as well. So if you think your name deserves to be up there on that plaque, then you'd better get ready to prove it. Virgin Interactive don't seem to have gone out of their way to make use of this great license though. Granted, you can take on the roles of Maverick, Jester, Iceman or Viper, and you can earn your wings at the Top Gun flight school in Miramar. But after that, it's really just handling crisis situations around the world. The focus is heavily on the dogfighting aspects of aerial combat, with fire and forget technology ignored for the most part. The action is paced to allow you to actually target and fight with oncoming aircraft, but this does have the problem of removing the sensation of speed from the entire affair. There are 21 combat missions to take part in, including a fair selection of dogfights, but you also get to bomb ground targets, protect wingmen, perform timed enemy clearance and even chase missions. To do this, you have a range of 8 aircraft to choose from, such as the Hornet, Phantom, Tornado, Harrier and Osprey. And there are even 3 different eras to try out: early 70s, 80s to 90s and 98 to 2000. The piloting itself takes some time to master, and you'll find that you spend the first few attempts overcompensating for various turns, followed by a quick crash and burn. But once you get the hang of the thing, it's a very satisfying experience to know that you'll soon be up there with the best of the best. Oh, James. 007's trademark cliches first graced our August issue when James stylishly took more bullets than a secret base with evil henchmen. These precious gaming moments are well overdue an update, and here, for your eyes only, is more gun-toting excellence from James Bond 007 in Agent Under Fire.
Bond, the terrorists control the front of the building and they've taken civilian hostages. You'll need to take an alternate route to ensure their safety.
Freed from the constraints of a specific movie, the designers have been able to draw more strongly from the rich panorama of quintessential 007 moments. The story is, of course, all new. Your nemesis is evil mastermind Malprave, the inevitable domineering psycho who heads up a massive criminal organisation, and his plans for taking over the world are particularly cunning. Building himself an invincible army of evil clones, Malprave creates familiar baddies and Bond babes from various periods. The character modelling and animations are fantastic, and with realistic voicing, there's a truly enjoyable aura to it all. As always, nothing seems to go to plan for the suave 007, as dodgy-looking henchmen swoop in and start peppering you from all angles. Cutscenes kick in at key points to outline Bond's mission objectives, and generally the levels allow you a bit of freedom in your choice of approach. So if stealth is your bag, baby, then go for it.
You will provide further instructions upon your arrival.
Gunfights are prolonged, and there's no one-shot kills nonsense. There's no life bars to clutter up the screen, and they only flash up when you really need them. Two curved bars appear when you get hit, showing the state of your armour and health. Replacement health and armour naturally lurk around the corners, encouraging more exploration and risk-taking. Aside from making use of the superb Quake 3 engine, Bond is more than just a first-person shooter. With the opportunity to get behind the wheel of Bond's most famous motors, there's the guarantee of some solid arcade-style gaming ahead. Nobody does it better.
According to this, your track record for spreading evil is pathetic! Uka Uka, it's not our fault! That wretched Bandicoot is to blame!
Crash Bandicoot is returning in his latest outing, bringing you a gorgeous restrained 3D environment, filled with beautiful high-resolution graphics and with more gameplay elements than ever before. The plot is as simplistic as ever, with Crash's arch-nemesis, Cortex, dedicating his time to taking over the world. To achieve this, he's built himself a genetically engineered super creature, eloquently named Crunch. This monster is not at all fond of our favourite Bandicoot, but does require energy to function. So Crash and his friends are out to gather up all the power sources before he can use them. There are over 30 levels to jump, spin and dodge your way through, and for the first time you can fill the shoes of Crash's sister, Coco. This pair get to play with a whole fleet of vehicles, with Crash taking to the skies with gliders and helipacks, scooting about in a jeep and piloting mechs and subs. Coco shows off with her mini scooter, snowboard and even a starfighter.
Shoot them down! Looks like Neo's using them to make the tornadoes!
As you can see, the visuals are as attractive as ever, with some lovely animations, even just watching Crash idle around waiting for you to do something. It may be simple, it may be light-hearted, but you can't have intense drama and action all the time. Sometimes you just need to relax and play something fun for a change. PS2 owners are already rejoicing at the mass exodus of PC titles landing firmly in their laps this year. And with Valve's Half-Life masterpiece looking set to equal the phenomenal PC version, this could be gaming greatness at its very best. As bearded scientist and gaming hero, Gordon Freeman works for a federal organisation called Black Mesa. These meddling goons carry out dangerous experiments for the government, and when an apparent accident opens up a portal of hellish creations, Freeman finds that he's fighting for far more than his own freedom. Half-Life's real innovation is the way that plot, atmosphere and cinematic set pieces collide together in a truly mind-blowing way. The PS2 version looks sharper and much higher in detail than its PC counterpart, with all the lighting, environments and character animations smoothed out to look their very best. As well as the generous sprinkling of multiplayer action across 12 maps, most of which are exclusive to the PS2, Gearbox has devised a new mode, Decay.
So I guess today is the big day, huh?
This cooperative mode offers new multiplayer maps and bonus missions as an incentive.
I just hope everything goes well today.
There's even a secret mode allowing you to play through the game as an alien slave.
Shutting down. No.
Tempted? Well, you should be. This highly acclaimed 3D shoot-'em-up hits the shelves around November.
What you gonna do?
Yes, the ever-enthusiastic, rap-addict dog-type thing is back. Last time we saw this bizarre little character, he was strutting his 2D stuff to try and win the love of his sweetheart, Sunny Funny. This time, our visit to Parappa Town is marred by the sinister presence of the Noodle Gang. These dastardly miscreants have the power to turn foodstuffs to noodles, which is obviously a terrible thing. Parappa has to endure so many of these noodles that he makes the unforgivable mistake of being sick to death of them when Sunny Funny serves them up for him as well. So there's only one thing to do. He must rap the Noodle Gang out of town.
They'll say it's an addiction. Form it, suck it. I know you all like it. Slurp it, suck it. I know we all like it. Smell it, taste it. Pasta in the market. Smell it, taste it. Fruit in a basket. Getting worse.
Each of the levels comes with 4 or 5 lessons, teaching you more and more advanced raps to make your way through.
Introducing the new flavor. Cutting hair can be fabulous. So don't just stand there. Come inside, have a seat, and relax.
These levels include a brief session with hairdresser Octopus in the barbershop,
Okay, baby, let's go. We're going to do it like this.
and a challenge to increase the size of all your companions.
You wanna grow big.
Your mentor will put a line to you, and then you must duplicate the symbols used, shown at the top of the screen, in a style very similar to the popular Simon games. Get the sequence right, and with the right timing, and you'll soon find yourself being encouraged. Get it wrong, and the criticism comes hard and fast.
Sir Patties. Vote equal.
Getting worse.
Let's begin!
You'll also encounter bonus games, such as this encounter with Chop Chop Master Onion, where you need to press the corresponding button to the targets held up for you. If you manage to keep up all the way through, then you'll find the final stage with the whole crowd present to spur you on. Complete this and you'll start to unlock the game's other features, like this 2-player battle mode.
Who that be? Huh?
What's that sound? Who that be? Huh?
So get your rapping hat on and get down to Parappa Town to face down that encroaching noodle menace.
Is everybody ready to do this? Well, come on, let me hear you say ho! Say ho, ho! Say ho, ho, ho!
Fans of Japanese RPGs can look forward to the arrival of Shadow Hearts from developers Saknov. Despite the release of Cordell Car and their history with Squaresoft, Saknov haven't achieved a great presence in the West. But hopefully this new release, working with publishers Aruzi, should set that straight. It certainly became a big hit in Japan straight out of the blue. The hero of the piece is actually one Ermnaf Bort Hyuga, a half-Russian, half-Japanese individual who was raised in China. He possesses a strange power, known as Harmonixer, which allows him to absorb and use the powers of his enemies. The most exciting and novel new feature that Shadow Hearts brings is the introduction of the Judgment Ring. Combat is generally performed upon a 3D battlefield, but the Judgment Ring is used to test your combat technique. An indicator rotates around the ring, and to score a successful hit upon your opponent, you must stop it within the active area. The better your character is at fighting, the larger this target area will be. With the fantastic graphics of the PlayStation 2 at hand and Saknoth's impressive rendering skills, the game looks to be a visual treat. So get ready to join Ermnaf and Aris on this strange and disturbing adventure as they investigate the tangled mystery before them. Forget about realism. Forget about hundreds of officially licensed cars. Erase from your mind the phenomena that is Gran Turismo. Now open your eyes to Burnout, a game that throws hardcore reality out of the window and brings the concept of fun back to the driving genre. If you're after stunning, super smooth graphics, roads packed with traffic, and the fastest arcade action yet seen on the PlayStation 2, you've come to the right place. Burnout takes us back to the sheer thrill of high-speed racing, dodging through packed traffic, executing stunning power drifts, weaving past oncoming cars and lorries. And did we mention the crashes? This is one of the standout parts of the game. Just one tiny error can result in the most spectacular pile-ups yet seen on a PlayStation 2 game. Smashing windscreens, crumpled bodywork, it's all here. The extent of your crash is even measured by the scale of the bill facing the insurance company. If you can beat the PSW record of $165,000, consider yourself a master of mayhem. So what are the basics of the game then? Start off with a whole set of stunning looking circuits, with each corner meticulously designed and refined for arcade gameplay. Now add in a selection of cars including super minis, pickups, coupes, muscle cars and saloons, each with widely different characteristics. Sounds pretty good, but it's the game concept that's most important. Super speeds, tons of traffic and breathtaking set pieces. This game is a real gem, packed with stunning visual effects, some wonderfully designed levels and gameplay that provides a real adrenaline rush. Burnout is an essential racing game. Get Gran Turismo 3 for your fix of automotive realism, but make sure you have the sheer arcade thrills of Burnout in your gaming collection too. The final word, essential.
At Neodyne Industries, we have successfully completed a global network consisting of 64 satellites. The project is named Starline Network. This is a monumental achievement. Hey, Mike, Starline will unite the world.
I don't think so.
Time Crisis made its mark on the original PlayStation, by introducing such novel elements as dodging to the light gun genre, giving it some element of strategy, albeit a simplistic one. Now the sequel has finally arrived on the PlayStation 2, and this is the actual arcade port, identical in pretty much every detail. You can see for yourself how much smoother the graphics are now they have the power of the PlayStation 2 behind them. And alongside all the arcade levels, Namco has thrown in several new ones designed specifically for Sony's machine. Story mode offers the usual formula of duck and cover scenarios to set the barrels of your trusty G-Con 2 ablaze. As heroes, Keith Martin and Robert Baxter take down wave after wave of military menace in search of the elusive wild dog. Our only criticism of this awesome title is the criminally short amount of levels on offer in story mode, but with the biggest improvements saved from multiplayer gaming, Namco really has delivered. Two-player gunslinging comes via split screen or by connecting two machines together using the masterful iLink option. Both players take different paths through the levels. If one of our heroes starts to make a hash of things, the other guy is going to have to start picking up the dead weight. There's also some interesting game extras tucked away, such as the original arcade coin-op target shoot and the chance to try out your fast draw and quick aim skills, if you think you have the skills to pull it off. But if you can't find the friends, but have managed to get your hands on a pair of light guns anyway, then you can always take them on John Woo style with a pistol in each hand. For owners of light guns everywhere, it's time to get your guns out the cupboard, gather your friends, if you haven't already shot them all in the back, and get into the heart of the best gun-toting action available. Witness the power as 4 of Europe's greatest Tekken players take the game apart in ultra-hard mode against the computer, as we review the arcade version of Tekken 4. Considering that this game isn't going to be available for the PS2 until well into 2002, there's no excuse not to go to your nearest arcade and play the game now. You're in for a treat.
Round 1. Fight.
For a start, the game has been totally redesigned since the last game in the series, Tekken Tag Tournament. The game now features far more realistic graphics with a huge upgrade in visual quality. This means more detailed fighters and truly 3D backgrounds. Just like Sega's Virtua Fighter 3, you'll now find yourself fighting over uneven ground, pummeling opponents up against walls, and using the 3D nature of the game to dodge and weave around your opponents. Additionally, there are statues, pillars and railings throughout most of the levels which can be smashed open either with a crushing blow or by repeatedly smashing your opponent into them. In terms of the basic gameplay, this is pretty much the Tekken we know and love. The control system has been tightened up so that the random button bashing players have less chance against the Tekken Masters. And there are also 3 new characters in the initial lineup of 10 fighters, with a further 10 unlocked over time the more the game is played in the arcade. In terms of the new challengers, Christy Monteiro is the easiest fighter to get to grips with, boasting moves and techniques very similar indeed to Eddie Gordo from Tekken 3. The man-mounted captain of the new bunch is Craig Marduk. He may seem slow and clumsy, but in the hands of a master, the sheer brutality and power of the man is truly astounding. And finally we have the British Bulldog boxing master Steve Fox. Armed with his vast array of different stances and pugilistic techniques, he's very tough to master, but very flexible and powerful in his fighting prowess. The majority of the old Tekken characters are back in the gang, and armed with new moves, combos and techniques. You'll see the bestial wrestler King even capable of performing the rock bottom technique, beloved of the WWF's most famous wrestler. The overall impression is of the Tekken characters being given a new lease of life in the most innovative addition to the series yet, even though, it must be said, most of the innovations have been seen in other fighting games. The game is based on System 246 technology, which is essentially PlayStation 2, enhanced to cut out loading times and interface with arcade cabinets. Expect the home version out in 2002 to be pretty much identical to what you're seeing here, and bear in mind that the arcade version is out now. Why wait until 2002 when you could be playing Tekken 4 now? Get going.
Welcome to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4.
The apocalypse has been and gone. Mankind has rebuilt and in the process has developed an exciting new form of jet propulsion. The potential for this new technology was immediately recognised and the sport of G-surfing took off, literally. Blade Interactive's G-Surfers lets you compete against 15 other vehicles on tracks incorporating twists, turns, forks, loops, corkscrews and jumps, all at stomach-churning breakneck speeds. And just to complicate things further, you'll find the courses littered with mines, speed-ups, power-ups, sand, water, fire and wobbly surfaces. There is a wide range of craft to race, each with their own unique statistics. And if the courses you see here don't interest you, then you can even design and build your own tracks using the inbuilt editor. One of the most popular scenes from the Fifth Element movie was the flying taxi sequence, and now you can try flying through the canyons of New York skyscrapers for yourself with NY Race from Callisto Entertainment. Here you have a whole new dimension of racing, literally. You can swerve and strafe in any direction, ducking and diving through the crowded corridors of traffic that file between the monolithic city blocks. There are over 30 vehicles to thrash about, including taxis, police cars and even Chinese food sellers. The tracks have been created by the designers of the city in the movie and consist of 4 districts: Jet Set, Middle Class, CD District and Chinatown. Eidos Interactive have managed to get their hands on the officially licensed Kawasaki jet ski game, featuring Jet Pilot branding. So prepare to take to the waves, jumping and racing your way around this beautifully rendered aquatic challenge. Game modes include arcade, championship and freestyle, along with a 2-player contest to keep things interesting. And the courses generally consist of some beautiful scenery, featuring locales such as Venice, Norway and Florida, with the waves being used to get around the courses full of ramps, sandbars and buoys. So get your engine started, suit up in rubber, and we're ready to get wet and wild. F1 game is back with its annual makeover in full swing. And, as you'd expect, you get the full range of 2001 seasoned drivers, cars and teams. It's obvious that F1 2001 is trying to strike a balance between arcade play and full simulation, with a fair selection of driving assists, which you can turn on or off to suit your style.
Carso Marquez, a spun just ahead, watch out!
And the pit stops have received special attention this time around, with the quality of your crew being linked to your own performance. If you keep screwing up, then so might they. EA have said that a race can now be won or lost in the pits. Very ominous. Klonoa's sequel is bouncing onto the PS2 and hopefully it'll make a bigger splash than its predecessor managed on the original PlayStation. Klonoa, the Dream Traveller, has been dreaming about a plea for help. He finds himself washed up on a distant shore and is met by Lolo, a trainee priestess and decidedly odd Popka. Their quest is to ring the 4 bells of harmony to stop the spread of evil caused by the Bell of Sorrow. Klonoa makes progress through the levels by manhandling the bad guys and using them to defeat other monsters, jump higher, smash blocks and much more. Although the action is presented in a 3D format, you really only have 2-dimensional freedom of movement, but the excellent level design and intelligent gameplay mean that you'll hardly even notice. The best just got better. SSX is back, but now with more tricks than ever. There's a whole new range of tricks, including some impossible but spectacular stunts involving losing contact with your board. Perform the tricks well and you can access the Uber tricks, but if you do the Ubers well, then you can now perform the fantastic Super Uber trick. The 2 dullest characters have been dropped, and the other races have been fleshed out with personalities portrayed in small clips throughout the game. There's now a grudge gauge during the race, which keeps track of growing hostilities and affects the way other racers treat you as well.
Front side 180, back side 180.
Those winter slopes will soon be hotting up. The latest instalment to the Test Drive Off-Road series from the makers of Midtown Madness brings the most rugged of 4x4 racing to exotic real-world locations. And with the power of the PS2, you can take your wheels anywhere within these huge environments. Whether you're racing in blitz mode, testing your skills with the hill climb and long jump modes, or just cruising about in the free ride mode, you'll find the attention to detail impressive. All the vehicles have been fully licensed, and you can take to the hills in US Jeeps, Hummers and Dodge Specials, or go European with Mercedes and BMW machines. There are 30 tracks to explore and 10 bonus events, all with fully interactive scenery, breakable objects and fleeing wildlife. What else do you want from an off-road racing game? Based on the recent film of the same name, Driven plunges you into the dangerous yet seductive world of open-wheel racing. Surrounded by fast cars, fame, money and women, drive as Jimmy Bly and Joe Tanto of Team Spirit against their arch-rivals Bo Brandenburg and Max Manley. There are 8 teams to choose between with 12 drivers, all of which have their own strengths and weaknesses. The tracks cover 7 unique locations, from sunny Angels Bay in California to the picturesque countryside of Manly Park in England and the cityscape of New York. Experience true team racing for the first time with 2 different perspectives, blocker and racer. Whilst the unique driver concentration viewpoint allows you to push into the zone through flawless driving and increase your performance until the man and machine become one. The Mummy Returns has a lot of ground to make up after the results produced from the first movie. Oddly then, Blitz games have gone for the same 3D platform genre as the original, but at least they've improved the graphics, gameplay and added some nice innovations. Following the plot of the movie, you must race from the halls of the British Museum to the lair of the Scorpion King in Egypt, passing through 12 levels and over 30 different enemies. The most interesting feature is the option to play as either the hero, Rick O'Connell, or as the villain of the piece, Imhotep. Rick comes with a variety of guns to aid his cause, and in times of trouble, he can call upon the assistance of his friend, Ardith Bay. Imhotep faces a slightly different variety of levels and fights his way through using a number of bizarre spells. And if he finds himself suffering, then he can call upon the help of his love interest, Mila.
It's some sort of ancient crypt.
The gratuitously violent Grand Theft Auto series returns, burning serious rubber on the PS2 with its classic race and chase trademark receiving a timely 3D makeover. Overcrowded with cops, robbers and victims aplenty, GTA 3 combines the finest moments from its popular series to deliver a drive-by shoot-'em-up rollercoaster ride through the grimly realistic Liberty City. The game's biggest area of improvement is the out-of-car sections. Playing from third-person viewpoint, it's far more gung-ho and bloodthirsty than ever before, with a vast selection of authentic weaponry and over 50 different vehicles awaiting your lethal touch. With realistic day-night cycles changing time-dependable elements, missions might require you to steal cash-laden security trucks, carry out a few jobs for the mafia, or generally waste the most dangerous goons in the vicinity. There's even an ongoing narrative throughout, involving your best mate 8-Ball, which links all the missions together.
Wait here, man, while I go in and talk to Luigi.
Finally, GTA 3 really does feel like a proper driving game rather than a wacky racer with guns and gore. It's two impressive looking games rolled into one, and it's what we've been waiting for.
Round 2. Fight. Fight.